In order to gain a full appreciation for the beginning of Parshas Ki Savo, we have to place ourselves in the shoes of a farmer. A farmer who is diligent, who is set on making sure that every single day he is focused on working his field until it brings forth his goal so that he can provide sustenance for his family. And every hour of every day, of every week, of every month, he's watching that field. First, he's preparing the field. He's making sure that it's ready to accept seeds. He's seeding the field. Then he's irrigating the field. And remember, back then there were not irrigation systems like there are today. It would take a great amount of effort to carry water and make sure there was enough water in the field on his various plants. And he would do this every single moment of the day, making sure that there was enough sunlight. He would daven, he would hope that he would be blessed with enough water for the field, with enough rain for the field, that would eventually bring out his fruit. And finally, one day, the farmer goes out into his field, and he's waiting for this time of year. Every year he waits, he counts the minutes, and finally that day has arrived. He looks at his fruit, and he sees that his fruit have finally popped out of the ground. His first fruit of the season have appeared, and the farmer understands that the mitzvah of bikurim is now upon him. Now Rashi explains to us that this mitzvah entails only the bikurim of the first fruits of one of the Shiva Minim, the 7 species by which the land of Israel is praised. So let's say, for example, farmer goes out into his field and he sees that the pomegranates have finally brought forth, they've popped out, and they are developed and ready to go. He takes the pomegranates, he goes to Yerushalayim, he puts them in a basket, he goes to the Beis HaMikdash, he stands in the Beis HaMikdash at the temple, he gives it to the Kohen lifts it up, he takes it from the Kohen, and then he goes through this liturgy in which he starts to talk a little bit about Jewish history and his ancestors and how they came and God brought them to this land and gave them the land of Israel. And now he is bringing all that God has given him, his first fruits, the sustenance of his family, the future that he has. He is donating, he is giving the first, the best out of all of this produce to God by virtue of giving it to the Kohen. And the Torah uses the following words to describe how this individual, this farmer, is going to say all of these things in front of the Kohen. The pasuk says, "V'anisa v'amarta." V'anisa means, and you shall answer. Usually, v'anisa is that you answer. V'amarta, and you will say, which seems to be a contradiction within itself. Is he answering something or is he saying something? And Rashi points out that when the farmer speaks and says all of these things the Torah says he's supposed to say, Rashi says that he does so beharamas kol, in a loud voice. So the question is he answering or is he speaking? Most of the time when we use that word v'yanisa to answer, it's usually when someone asks you a question and you have to respond. Oftentimes it's when you're being accused of something and you respond as to an answer. You're being questioned, you respond. The amarta is more like I have something to say. So what is it here when it comes to the farmer? And the anisa, when you're answering someone, it's generally in a quiet sense, in a calm fashion. It's not necessarily speaking loudly. Here Rashi clearly tells us that the mitzvah of this farmer is to speak loudly. What's the message here? So Rebbe Cheskel of Kuzmir explains as follows, so beautifully, which can be pertinent to our lives. He says that when the farmer speaks and speaks loudly, the farmer is not speaking loudly per se to the Kohen, but the farmer is speaking at a regular tone to the Kohen, and his voice is being heard loudly in the heavens above. In other words, lesson being that when a person speaks softly, like they are answering in a calm and in a humble fashion, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God, hears what they are saying in a loud fashion. That who we need to hear, we need God to hear. God will answer and listen to us if we present ourselves in a humble and a simple, calm fashion. I think this is so important during the month of Elul, when we work and focus on how we treat other people and how we speak to other people, to make sure that, as Chachamim say, Divrei Chachamim benachas nishma'in, that the words of the wise are heard when they come benachas, when they come softly. It's important for us that when we speak to other people, if we want them to listen to us and hear our message and internalize what we are saying, to speak softly to them. And if we want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be able to bless that which we are speaking about, then we should speak softly to other people. Then Hashem will hear us loudly and will help us in all our endeavors, as He helped the farmer continue to reap the benefits of his produce. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.